what is
Yeah.
your favorite character arc that you have written so far?
It's probably going to be my character Ken in Road to Elysium. It is based on a true story, and it is about a guy who's lost everything. He's lost everything important to him, his wife and his son, and he has become immobile because of this depression and this loss. And something happens in his life totally unexpected, right? His knee-jerk reaction when a young man asks him, "Hey, can you teach me how to throw a ball?" is to say yes, because like, what do I do? And his knee-jerk reaction was to say yes. So that knee-jerk reaction leads him down a completely different path that he did not see coming. He has to make changes in his life to get this, to let the child in. And I like to point out to, because it's being shopped around as a script, he's not the hero in this story. Neither is the young boy, because they both learn from each other. Because he takes in the mentorship doesn't make him a hero. It makes him fill a hole in him, and he learns how to relove, how to gain his hope back. He learns about second chances. And the way the story ends, which is here, he, there is a huge globe in his boss's office, and he likes to spin it. Well, the last chapter is the young boy walks into his office. He now owns the globe, and he looks at the boy and says, "Want to spin it?" And it just brings everything together. And the yeah, he's looking back as he's watching this boy spin the globe, like, wow, I have never saw this coming. I never knew I would have my own child, now this child also that I'm mentoring, a wife, another wife, and that my whole life would be what I always had envisioned it to be, but didn't see how I would get there.
Hmm, that is really beautiful.
That won 10 awards, that book.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So, something I have thought of when starting a new book or a new series is what is going to resonate with the most readers. And I'm not talking about genre or a theme, even, but what emotion or what place in life are the largest group of people going to say, I know what that feels like? And I've done a fair amount of research on that, and grief is definitely one of those that we can all put ourselves in those shoes and say, oh, I understand the basics of this. Do you ever think about that sort of thing when you're putting a character together? How do you move your story forward through these really, really big character arcs?
Funny you say that, because okay, so the book Fear Struck, the book that I just published last year, and the second book's coming out in February as a series, it is about fear. We all can relate to fear. And not only does the main character have all these reasons to be fearful, eventually the killer in the story becomes fearful. So it transitions from him to the killer. And I talk about fear because we all have fear. Fear can stop us from doing things. It can motivate us to do things, good or bad. And that's literally the arc in the book of, we all have fear, because it starts in one place and ends up another, someone you don't think would be fearful, becoming fearful. So that is exactly what I did with the last book.
Wow, I love that.